This call is being recorded.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. Just kidding. You're on Two Local Radio, and this is Ray Ray.
And this is Chrissy D.
And today, or tonight, shall I say, we have the famous Strip Club Choppers, Dave Benzotti, joining us. He's the metal DJ. If you want anything metal, he is your guy.
Oh, okay. Good.
So here he is. Everybody welcome Dave Benzotti.
Welcome, Dave Benzotti.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Great to be here. Cool to be on Two Loco.
So we know it's late and all, and you normally do your show at what time?
My show usually runs from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., and usually at this point, I'm asleep. I got a day gig I do during the day, so.
Well, we're not going to make it too long for you. So why
That's
don't you?
Cool.
So why don't you tell everybody what your show's about and what kind of artist you have on there?
Okay. Yeah, my show is called Benzotti Live. It is on Strip Club Choppers Radio. You can find that on Spreaker. It is a heavy metal hard rock program, and basically that's all we do is play a whole lot of killer music. Just good old-fashioned hard rock and heavy metal from around the world. Mainly stuff I like.
So mainly, would you say it's like indie or underground or a mix?
Not so far underground that it's unheard of, but it's far from above ground. It's not your run-of-the-mill FM by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, so you don't play the Metallica or anything like that?
We do play Metallica, but it's going to be kind of the more obscure stuff. It's not going to be the Enter Sandman.
I love that song.
I like the song, but FM plays it. Not going to be the Unforgiven. We're not going to play them every night. You're going to hear Metallica maybe 3, maybe 4 times. We try to do 6 nights a week. So you might hear maybe 4 songs in a week.
Oh,
I'll tell you one thing. If you're looking at ratings, I know the #1 karaoke song, period, for ladies is Pour Some Sugar on Me. There's not a second.
Oh, yeah? Wow. Jeez, that's a hard song to do at karaoke, too. I don't know if I'd want to do that. I do know I've never played that on the program. I do know that. That's we do play Def Leppard, but that would fall more under like a. I guess you could call it hard rock, but you're push the definition for my programs.
I hear that, man. I hear that. I'm just trying to think of songs that are somewhat popular and like the ladies dance to. Because once you get the ladies involved, the dudes will follow every single time, like clockwork.
That is true. And oddly enough, I don't follow the demographics too much, but like with my show, it's pretty much split down the middle, 50-50, and I forgot who it is, who's got the 49, who's got the 51 this week. But it's damn close to 50-50 between men and women that are into Benzotti Live.
Well, that's...
I got engineer Mitchie chiming in the background here. But she thinks men's got it by 2%, but I don't know what she's basing that on. There's no scientific data to back that up. Yeah.
So what kind of you said rock and metal, hard rock and metal. So what kind of metal are we looking here, and what kind of rock are we looking? Because that can be classified in so many different genres.
Right, yeah. I'd say like Nuclear Assault, Destruction, Exodus, Ghost of War, Resistance, Saxon, Raven. That's kind of the metal that we're playing. Hard rock, we go to like Def Leppard, AC/DC, Metallica, except said Def Leppard, Danzig. I mean, I guess my definition of hard rock's a little bit harder than some people's definition of hard rock. I try to stay a little clear of the hair metal. That's a genre all in and of itself that's already been tapped into, and I'm frankly not too interested in it. So.
But you do. It seems like you do like go towards the death metal.
Well, I'll play some death metal, but not a whole hell of a lot of that either, because that's like a totally different extreme. I'll play the band Death. I'll play Dark Angel, Obituary, some Death Possessed, but it's not gonna. I don't know the percentage because I don't study it that crazy. I mean, mainly it seems like I play a lot of metal to me, and it's weird the way I play it. I do them like about 4 or 5 songs at a time. You know, some DJs will lay their whole show out. You know, they'll have like 2 hours worth, and they got a program director, and okay, well, we're going to do this at this minute and this at this minute. Mine's a whole lot more fly by night, a whole lot more relaxed. Yeah.
But that's a good point, not to do what everybody else does and not play the same 50 songs that everybody else does. Because if you see on most, radio shows, not to knock FM, but I can tell you, I look in their website and I'll see their whole set list.
Yeah, I mean, you hear the same 5 songs or whatever, how many songs every day, the same songs. You can count on it. At least when you listen to your show, there's such a variety. You never know what you're going to play.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's like kind of our like our little hashtag. That's the variety is the name of the game. You never know. Sometimes we play this little internet game called "What in the Hell is he going to play next?" And you never know. I mean, it could fly. It could fly anywhere from like Motorhead to Patsy Cline to Metallica to Johnny Cash. I mean, I know that's kind of a wide variety, but.
There's nothing wrong with that, though. That's what makes it interesting. That's what makes people want to listen to you, because they never know what you're going to play.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, because some of the comments I'll get, it's always on what I consider like, okay, well, maybe we're pushing the envelope a little bit. Maybe we're going way out on a limb. Like I played Elton John a little bit ago, and they got 2 or 3 comments from that. They're like, ooh, well played, because they weren't expecting that. You're expected to hear Saxon and Black Sabbath, but you're not really necessarily expected to hear Elton John pop out of your speakers. So
exactly.
It takes them up. Yeah.
So
up and they like that.
So how did you hook up with Strip Club Choppers Radio, and how did you get the ball rolling with them?
That's an interesting tale. It's been kind of in the works on and off for well over a year now. Guy named Thunder Walrus, that's up here in Maryland, has been talking, or had been, we're going back about a year and a half, almost 2 years. And he and I had been plotting and talking and having these little backroom discussions and this, that, and the other. And he had an idea of getting this radio show up and rolling. And he wanted to know if I was interested, and I was. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. So he got something rolling on a totally different radio network, and that lasted for a few months. And then I got into some obligations with my state here that pushed me out of commission for a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm walking on Engineer Mitchie's floor, and that's interrupting her as I'm telling my story. Right. I can't pace. I can't pace in the studio like I normally would like to. I have to sit still. So while I was away at summer camp, Tim switched companies, and he got hooked up with the Strip Club Choppers entity, I guess, the brand Strip Club Choppers, and from there formed Strip Club Choppers Radio. And then when I became a more free human, I came back, and I've been doing some guest spots on his show on the other network. And then when I came back in from captivity, I did a few guest spots, and then one day, Engineer Mitchie and I went over on a Wednesday night. We went over and decided, well, you know what, we're going to do a pilot, and we're going to see how it goes. And then we've pretty much been running every night since. That was the day before Halloween of last year.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
nice.
It was funny. I mean, literally, because I mean, you can listen to that podcast if you go on to Strip Club Choppers Radio and search it out. You can find the very first Benzotti Live. It's me, Thunder Walrus, Pam Malicious, and Engineer Mitchie. We do a whole lot more talking, a lot of giggling and laughing and all kinds of nonsense. And I play some music, but he's like, well, so what's your plan? How often are you going to do this? Like, is it going to be once a week? Is it going to be such and such? And, you know, at that point, I was like, well, I guess we're going to do it like 6 nights a week. So that's how I kind of fell in.
Exactly. The great Thunder Walrus is a heck of a guy.
Sure is.
You know, and, you know, the fact that, you know, we had this plan and everything is absolutely fantastic. I mean, you know, we're on there. We do like our little show, but we had this span, so we had to, you know, think what was best for us, and you know how it goes, man.
Well, not only that, but we also didn't want to use up all his time, so that you and the other other shows, I should say, don't have a chance to go on. You know, it's not fair.
Right, I got you. I totally understand.
We want to, you know, we don't want to disrespect anybody, you know.
But
No.
back to the metal, not to cut you off because I'm terrible at that. You know, what age group would you say that your music, you know, that you play is, you know, to, or is it just not? As you said, you're not big on demographics. You just play whatever you feel is necessary at that time and whatever clicks. Correct?
I did look on. I guess I'm kind of misleading because I did look at the demographics, and who we're appealing to are the folks that are like 24 to or 25 to 34, whatever that one is, 25 to 34 or whatever, and then from 35 to like 55 or somewhere in there, in that 20-year span or 25-year span, from about 24 to about 54 is where I'd say the majority of the folks that are listening to Benzotti Live are falling in.
So from the young adults to the midlife crisis, basically.
Yeah. We're not, the teenagers aren't quite catching on. They don't really care. I mean, literally nobody 18 seems to be caring one bit of what I'm doing. But by the time they hit 24, 25, they're starting to jam with me. And then up until about 55, yeah, they're hanging out, running around in their Corvettes jamming out to us.
So would you say you get more replies and more responses from the actual, you know, service, you know, the Spreaker service, or would you say through the social networks such as Facebook, the Twitters?
Well, I get more through the social network than through Spreaker, but I'm also really mainly doing all of it, you know, myself as far as interacting. So my time's a little limited as far as all that goes, and having a day gig and running a show at night, and you know, so it's, well, you know how it is.
Yeah,
it
sucks.
Yeah, there's a lot of time involved and a lot of energy, so you do the best you can with what you have to work with. So we only got 24 hours, but they got a lot of sleep somewhere in there.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what sleep is. I'm a damn vampire.
This one takes 24-hour energy, and that's it. He's up. I mean, 5-hour energy. I said 24.
Right.
I literally do, and I'm lucky. I'm at work, and I'm lucky sometimes if I have like 4 hours sleep, and then I'm like, but I still get my job done and everything.
Yeah,
so.
he does the 4-hour energy and then coffee. Lots and lots of
wow.
coffee.
Jeez. Yeah, see, I'm one of those weirdo people that never got into coffee. Yeah.
That's when you drink Monsters. That's what I drink.
See, I again with the weird, I never got into that. I don't have. I got no liquid stimulation going on whatsoever. I just get up in the morning and do. Not that I'm the biggest people person you ever met early in the morning, but but I don't jump start. But I don't jump start with the caffeine either. So, but I need my sleep. So there is that. I couldn't. I'm not going to run effectively on 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, because y'all do pretty long shows, and that's very commendable and everything.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that you have like music lined up for that a long amount of time is just really hats off to you.
I know, really, especially
extremely hard.
Sorry, honey. Especially that it's different, all different kinds of music and all kinds of genre and all different, so that it's not the same stuff every day. Oh, Benzotti's going to play this. Oh, he's going to play that. Oh, this song's coming on next. They never know. And that's what's good. It's hard to do what you do.
It's harder than I ever anticipated. I'll tell you that much. I mean, when I first started, I kind of thought it was going to be a lot easier. But yeah, the way you just described it is very accurate. But it's hard to do. It would be easy if I just had like 200 songs to play and I just rotated those 200. But I actually make a conscious effort. Try not to. So if you listen to Monday night show and you come back Tuesday night, it's going to be, well, it's definitely not, you're not going to hear any of the same songs. That's guaranteed. But I'm going to try really hard not to have any of the same artists, which is hard to do some days. I mean, you're having a metal show without playing Black Sabbath or Iron Maiden or Judas Priest or Ozzy Osbourne.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of hard.
It's hard. In a 2 hour, I mean, it's hard to do 2 hours without playing one of the 4 of them, But sometimes at the end of the show, I'll sit back and snicker and I'll kind of laugh and be like, damn, look who didn't get played today. They're like, wow, how the hell did you pull that off? And it sounds, the next day I'll listen to it podcast, and I'll be like, all right, well, that flowed pretty well. And we made it. It was funny because we did not have, something went wrong with our Metallica. For like the first 3 or 4 months, I was missing 3 major Metallica albums, which is comical when I look back because here we are. I mean, Metallica is arguably one of the biggest heavy metal bands in the world.
Correct.
We didn't have Ride the Lightning and Justice for All or Master of Puppets in the playlist for like 3 months straight.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because something went wrong with the library, and we just didn't, they just weren't, I couldn't access them, I couldn't get to them, I don't know what the hell the problem was, but yeah. But we managed to pull a show off without it. Now, since then, it's funny, I loaded them all on in one night, and since then, we've hit those albums. We're not making up for lost times, but we've certainly hit those albums.
So basically, you play the songs that are unknown, but are really good.
Yeah, I like doing that. I think that's one of the most fun things that I like doing, is just playing obscure stuff, finding stuff that I like, and if you like it too, great. That's cool. If you don't, well, yeah, sorry about your luck, but maybe you will. It'll grow on you, because. Like you say, that the riff to Enter Sandman, it's a great guitar riff. Everybody recognizes it. It's very very catchy. But they wrote plenty of songs that a lot of mainstream people who are quote unquote Metallica fans aren't all that familiar with. So I like grabbing them. I play a lot of B-sides, a lot of like weird stuff, a lot of covers. Like if I could find somebody playing a cover that I like, I'll play that. Just because I think it's neat, Iron Maiden doing a Jethro Tull song. You know, it appeals to me. It appeals to my sense of like, well, that's kind of cool. You know.
Exactly. Like I was never into like heavy metal, real heavy metal. I like some of the like artists you mentioned. Like I like Ozzy, but it was funny. My friend actually got me into Enter Sandman. That became my favorite song, and I think that started me to like some of the other, little bit of the other heavy metal. I'm not die straight hard heavy metal, but I like certain songs here and there that I do like.
But see, Enter Sandman is like a gateway for you. So that's awesome. That's awesome. But then, you know, you'll expand your Metallica horizon and you'll be like, well, hey, look, I like that song, so I'm going to give this one a listen.
Exactly.
And, you know, and then eventually, one of the things I love about Metallica is that they'll take bands that they like, and they'll be obscure, weird bands that really nobody heard of, and they'll take their songs and cover them, and then kind of like resurrect a lot of people's careers. I mean, they took the band The Misfits. You familiar with them?
I know who the Misfits are.
I don't.
They took at least 2 or 3 or 4 Misfits songs and recorded them. A band called Diamond Head, Metallica's covered 4 or 5 of their songs, and you know, it's in turn created a lot of buzz for Diamond Head. Sold a lot of records for Diamond Head, so that's kind of neat. So that's kind of, which is not to compare Benzotti Live by any stretch with what Metallica's doing, but you know, the sentiment's kind of the same, I guess.
All right. Well, it seems like we had the record scratch a second ago.
I jumped.
It's all good. I see that you were talking about Metallica. I have a few things. Do you play any even like rare like Guns N' Roses or Pantera or Sepultura or anywhere of that stream?
Yeah. Once a week I play Led Zeppelin. I definitely, that's in my contract. I will play Led Zeppelin at least once a week. Guns N' Roses will play probably twice a week. Sepultura will sneak in the playlist more often. You're more likely to hear Sepultura than Guns N' Roses. But yeah, we'll hit them. Slayer, we will play Slayer.
Slayer.
AC/DC. I think you got to nod. I mean, AC/DC is probably one of the greatest hard rock bands ever. You gotta play AC/DC. Maybe not every day, and you know, I definitely hit some weirdo songs with them too.
See, that's what I grew up on. I grew up on AC/DC, Slayer, Pink Floyd.
Yeah, Pink Floyd.
Stairway to Heaven, you know, Led Zeppelin, all that. That's what I graduated in the 90s, so, you know, when I was in school, that was popular in high school.
Right. Yeah.
Do you play any of the, like, mixed stuff, like the Rage Against the Machine or the Korn or anything of that sort?
Not if at all possible. And really that just boils down to personal taste. Since I don't have anybody to answer to, one thing I will do is take requests. If people call in or get on Facebook, either get on the Benzotti Live page or get on my personal page, or those few people that have my text number, get a hold of me and request stuff. I'll do my damnedest to play with what people do want to hear. Thankfully, they don't request too much Korn, stuff like that. I just personally don't like it, so I don't play it on my show that much. That's all.
That's totally understandable. Like, if I were to request something, probably be like, you know, Down on the Farm by Guns N' Roses, something that people don't play. The Spaghetti Incident, in my eyes, is one of their best albums ever.
Yeah. Now, see, exactly. I'm with you 100%. Yeah, I will. Like Spaghetti Incident, I know is in the library. Not too many people request it. I really don't hit too much Guns N' Roses because FM does their fair share of GNR, so I kind of stray from the norm, I guess. What really got me interested in it was so-called rock radio. You know, when I would get in my car leaving to go home from work, I would hit rock radio. I'm not talking about satellite radio, just regular FM, and it was like, God, what is this? This isn't rock. This isn't good. What is this? You know? And I was finding myself listening to, I guess, what you call classic rock to find anything that was listenable to, you know, to me. And I'm finding like the Pink Floyds and the Fleetwood Mac and Rush, stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, I recognize this. This is pretty cool. But again, very predictable. You can pretty much, you know, there's only 5 or 6 Rush songs they're going to play on the radio. Zeppelin, you got a little wider variety. Maybe they'll play you 12 songs out of their whole catalog.
What about like some Stained? No.
Yeah, I'll play some. Yeah, I don't know enough about them to rattle off names of their songs, but I don't have anything against Stained, so yeah, I'll play them.
Well, if you could ever find it, it's a song called "The Truth." It's one of the most tearjerker songs and just phenomenal song by Stained.
Well, I have to check that out. And I do like a well done ballad. If it's a tearjerker, I'm into it. I love the old Scorpion stuff. I'm talking like the 1970s Scorpion stuff. Oh. What do you like, Engineer Mitchie? Oh, jeez. Engineer Mitchie just chimed in and said I wasn't even alive then.
What about like Avenged Sevenfold? Do you play any of their music?
Yeah. That's kind of probably the closest I'll come to new stuff, because that's something I'm really not too interested in being. Like I don't want to be cutting edge or alternative. That's really not what I'm going for at all. I do like some Avenged Sevenfold, and I have some, and I'll play some on my own, and occasionally somebody will request it, so I'll play it in that case.
What about like a Five Finger Death Punch?
Yeah, same boat. I like them. Don't really know a whole lot about them. One of the things another one of my complaints about rock radio is, when I was a kid, I'm 44, by the way.
Same age as me.
When I was a kid, they would actually tell you what they were going to play or what they did play, you know. So we used to sit around with our little cassette player and wait for, you know, our favorite song to play so we could make a mixtape, you know. And kids today have absolutely no idea what that even means.
Oh yeah, I can definitely remember those days. I used to do the same thing. Me and my best friend, we'd sit there with our little cassette tapes and we'd record just our favorite song, and that was it.
Yeah, you'd sit and you'd wait because the DJ would say, coming up in the next half hour, we've got Styx, the Rolling Stones, Judas Priest, Rush, and Billy Squier. So you knew what was coming up. You know, it's like, all right, cool. I know what to listen to. So you're thinking, well, I'm really hoping they're going to play such and such a song because that's what's the current hit. I want to get that on record. So you'd have your little TDK tape player, and you'd hit play and record and listen to it, or record it rather.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was something we did. But then, like nowadays, they play music on the radio, but they never tell you what it is. So there's all kinds of new stuff that you could ask me, you know, hey, what about this band? And it's like, I don't know. Seether's a perfect example of that. There's probably a bunch of Seether songs that I've heard of. I have no clue that that's the name of the band. You know what I mean? Because nobody tells you these days.
All right. What about like a Slipknot?
It falls under kind of the same boat for me. I don't really know too many song titles. The ones that I hear, I like. I haven't gone out of my way to buy any Slipknot. I think I've got like one album that I have access to. I'm kind of old school with my access as far as I understand there's some kind of MP3 thing that you can get like 6,000 albums or something, and well, they're recorded, but I don't know how to do all that stuff. I mean, everything's literally recorded from CD onto my laptop, and that's how I play music. So it's kind of slow and methodical, and it's a step up from sitting there waiting for a song to record on a cassette player, but not too much.
Exactly. See, like I said, I'm the same age as you, so I understand where you're coming from.
And I'm not too far behind, because I remember playing with cassette tapes and then they break, and then try to roll them together and take it to Scott's tape and try to tape back together.
And hoping your song didn't get messed up.
Right, yeah, because inevitably the player would, would get dirty. It would eat your tape. You'd have to stick an eraser in the end of it and twist it back and yeah. If you weren't a cassette surgeon, you were not recording properly back in the
day.
Yeah, I got good at that. When my best friend would say to me, "Chris, my tape got messed up," I'd be like, "All right, give it to me." Either that, or what I would do is, if the cassette tapes you can flip upside down, so the tape part's up, and I take that little piece of tape that's out, I'd stick it out of the cassette tape and hit rewind. And that's how I fix my tapes too.
Yep. Yeah. See, you know the tricks.
You ever try to get a cassette back to work like it was and think you got it working properly, and then listen to it and know you ruined your song and throw it out the window?
Yeah, that's happened. Definitely. Yeah, you get about halfway through and all of a sudden, yeah, I've definitely fallen victim to that. So,
but I mean, we love the way that you do it though, because it's old school. I mean, it's really foolproof, and yeah, it will mess up from time to time. But with MP3s, what happens if you accidentally hit the wrong one? If you delete the wrong one, I mean, you can just ruin your show so much quicker than the way you have it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard to actually ruin mine. I can have mistakes on mine, but to actually ruin a complete broadcast, I have to work hard to screw a whole one up.
Exactly. I mean, the way you do it's a lot better, because I had a friend and he used to do DJing, and when he would DJ, that's what he would do. He would have like a little one of those little, what do they call those, honey? The little pin thing. You can stick it in the computer.
USB.
Thank you, USBs. And he would have the USB, would have all his songs on it, and then the rest would be on his computer, and that's how he would do it. Or actually on his hard drive, not on a computer. On his hard drive, and wherever he was going to do it, he would have it all set there. And that's the best way to do it, the same way as you do it. But, it's better than, like he said, than doing it on MP3, because what if you screw up a song and accidentally delete the wrong one? There you go, your song's gone.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, mine, it doesn't really skip. The only way we skip is if we have problems encoding or streaming, and that's not, that doesn't have anything to do with the recording or it's just transmitting it. So,
yeah,
and most of it gets fixed in the edit part anyhow, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's Spreaker a lot of times. They go up and go down, go up and go down.
Yeah. I mean, worst case scenario, I might have one where I'll spend an hour and a half and get like 20 minutes worth of usable material out of, but that's happened maybe twice out of I don't know how many shows. So, knock on wood, most of them go off without a hitch.
So when did you decide this was what you wanted to do? Like, how many years ago would you say?
Oh, that's a great question. It's been in the making for a long time. I mean, I had friends of mine that said, you need your own show. You need your own show. Way back. I mean, going like 20 years back. And I'm like, well, yeah, but such a thing doesn't exist. And it didn't. I guess there was pirate radio back then, but, there wasn't any, I didn't have any access. There was college radio, I guess, but college radio in the sense of even back then was the transmission, my God, you had to be within like a 10-mile radius. You know, it was on an AM channel, and if you weren't on campus, you couldn't hear it. So,
eventually it's all going to go this way anyway. So
yeah, I mean, as far as technology keeps advancing or whatever, once it became available, then, you know, once Tim started talking to me, Thunder Waller started talking about, you know, well, hey, we could do this, and then my ears started to perk up, and I was like, huh, really? You know, and now I found out, I mean, we've got listeners in, I think it's like 10 countries, and last time I checked, it was over 16,000 listens, so it's happening, it's working.
Well, the minute somebody figures out, I always thought it was going to be a box, but there's satellite radio out there. But the minute somebody figures out how to form like a flash drive, you know, one of them little drives, and be able to put it into your car radio, FM's dead.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just about there. I mean, I turned on the station. Oh boy. The radio every day, and every day when we're taking our son to school, there's only 2 stations that play music. The other ones seem like all they do is talk the whole entire time.
Yeah, and they're not even funny.
No.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. That's one of the main things that got me into really wanting to do this, because the state of rock radio is just abysmal, man. I mean, they're not playing rock music. I mean, new I forget whatever they call it. You know, new rock to me is like a synonym for just like crappy music, and they're certainly not going to advertise it. Coming up next, we've got crappy music. You know?
Exactly.
You know? Well, buy more things that suck.
And then some really shitty music on top of that.
Yeah, you know, it's like, oh, it's 9 o'clock. Do you know what it's time for? It's time for just junk. You know, can you sit through 5 minutes of this? And it's like, night after night, I'm like, oh my God, no, I can't. This is dreadful. What the hell is this doing on rock radio? So when the chance came, it's like, all right, well, you can play, you know, classic Black Sabbath and fire it into, you know, whatever you want to, Saxon or Armored Saint or Dirty Rotten Imbeciles or whatever you want to. Now that's rock music. Hot damn. It's like, wow, okay. I'm going to do this and run with it, and that's it. So.
On our end, when we have band interviews and whatnot, unless it's like a favor for a friend or whatnot, I won't play anything that sucks. I just won't. If I won't listen to it, I won't have it on.
Well, see, that is in my opinion, that's a good way to be. I agree with you. That's perfect. I don't like to have anything that I don't personally like. I mean, if it happens by accident or whatever, or I make an exception, but very rarely will I purposely set out something that I go into it saying, okay, well, this sucks. I'm just playing it just to play it. I don't ever do that on purpose.
All right, so I take it you don't play anything that's audio tune at all.
Not intentionally. No, not intentionally. I prefer musicians to play their instruments and singers to sing, and you know, good hard rock, real metal, so to speak.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, even when we do like rap or, you know, I mean, I know that's not your forte and everything, but we like to have actual like DJs and people that actually know how to sample stuff. But there's a difference between sampling and auto tune. And auto tune is basically, all right, it's basically karaoke in a professional manner.
And it sounds crummy. I mean, it's just terrible. We had one thing.
Ugh. Yeah, that sounds like a cheat to me. I mean, I'm not even quite familiar with what you're saying, but the description of it doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound like there's a whole hell of a lot of talent involved in that.
There's not. It's basically lip syncing. and put it on a program.
And it sounds terrible. I mean, we had one person send us that crap, and we were like, no, sorry. We just can't play that garbage.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Yeah, so, I like what I like and play what I like, and it's not just my show, but whatever. It really is. It's me sitting here playing music by myself, and I'm just happen to be broadcasting it. You know.
So, who would you say are your favorite bands to play?
Oh, let's see. I totally enjoy playing COC, Corrosion of Conformity. I know I'm defining it because not everybody knows what COC is. Sometimes they think I left the K out. You know. they got the joke. See, Engineer Mitchie gives me a funny look.
Yeah, I almost spit my beer out.
Yeah. Well, when you type it sounds even funny. I love COC. I do. I mean, I think they're an absolutely fantastic band, but I like to clarify that it's Corrosion of Conformity. I love playing. There's a band out of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania that I really enjoy playing called Goes to War. I really get a kick out of them. They're starting to take off regionally. They just played down in Jacksonville, Florida, just this past month.
We love Jacksonville, Florida.
That's where we lived before.
Oh, sweet! Yeah, it's awesome. I like all parts of Florida, but Jacksonville, yeah, that's a cool little town.
Yeah, it's one of them secrets. If you look on the highway, you ain't gonna see shit, but if you're down there, it's gorgeous.
Right? Yeah. I'm with you. You don't necessarily think of Jacksonville when you think of Florida because there's so many big name towns down there. But that's cool. Like you say, hey, a secret's good. Who else do I like to play? Clutch surprised me. The Clutch is actually one of the most requested bands that we get on Benzotti Live, which I never really knew Clutch was as big as they apparently are. They are good, yeah.
Isn't like Clutch like a new age, like Suicidal Tendencies in a way?
Yeah, but they've been around for a lot longer than I think people are aware. They've been around for years, like I don't know, 10, maybe a dozen years. I don't know. Somehow or another, they kind of sneak through my personal radar. I wasn't too into Clutch before I got into the radio, but then all of a sudden I got into it. It's like every night somebody was requesting Clutch, and it was coming from different states. It wasn't like a regional type deal. It was a United States kind of thing. Like, well, all right, I'm gonna have to investigate this.
Yeah,
I love playing Merciful Fate, Judas Priest, but I should play more Skinner because I really like Skinner, Leonard Skinner a lot myself. But I know you do. But yeah, Mitchie thinks everybody can hear her. She hasn't grasped this whole radio concept yet. It's only been 6 months, and she does this to me on air all the time. Talks in the background. I got the microphone here, and she talks to me like we're just sitting here.
Well, this is so crystal clear. She might actually be able to be picked up.
Well, that's good. That's good. Better than we normally can. Because normally, if she's not talking directly into the mic, you just hear me saying, yeah, for, out of the blue. Like, all right.
If I could figure a way for this to, hook up to the other system and I could tell you about it when you're doing your show and we're not doing it, you could use it. We don't care. We're like that. So.
Exactly. I mean, it's funny because, you know what? I do the same thing like she does. I'll talk to him sometimes and I'll say something and I won't be directly in the mic and he'll say, hon, you got to go to the mic. You got to go to the mic. I'll forget.
Right. Yeah. Because it makes sense. I mean, you're right there. You can see them. It's like, okay, but, the the other several hundred others that are out here are like, well, what the hell's he answering?
I mean, she sounds like a mouse, but you can tell you're talking to somebody.
Right,
to me, at least.
Yeah. It's like Charlie Brown's teacher or something in the background or something, but yeah.
We had a show where I had to apologize the following day because a bunch of us were drunk, and one of us decided that he was going to talk to himself for a while.
Because nobody was answering him, or we didn't have mics in front of us, or whatever the case was, and it was kind of silly.
Well, you know, sometimes they're the best shows.
Yeah, believe it or not, both them shows got high like play values.
Yeah. That's another thing I can't figure out the rhyme or reason between what makes some shows a bigger hit than other shows. Because I listen to mine to try and not really figure it out. I just listen to it because, you know how when you're doing a show, you don't really hear it because you're doing it. You know, you got to catch it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're pushing buttons or doing this or pouring yourself a drink or whatever, you know, thinking about what you're going to do next. And so, you know, the next day after that or whatever, you're like, okay, well, hey, let's listen to see what this nutball Benzotti had to say, you know, and then you'll catch stuff. You're like, damn, I don't even remember that. Yeah. Well, I do that all the time with songs. It's like, oh, well, I forgot we played them. Yeah. I'm trying to bring up links or whatever. Yeah. I got the other computer. I'm trying to link it up to, you know, say, hey, we got a live show going on right now. So while Seth's playing in the background, I'm trying to communicate with, you know, some kid in Texas or something. You know.
There you go.
You know, this kid in Texas really wants to hear a Judas Priest song. It's like, damn, I just played a Judas Priest song. Aren't you paying attention? Yeah, so it's like, well, all right, what do I do? You know.
I hope it's Tuesday and do a 2 for Tuesday.
There you go.
Yeah. Do I sneak an extra one in, or do I say, well, gee whiz, man, I already got it, or do I write it down and play it tomorrow? Because it doesn't tie. You know, sometimes it depends. That's the other cool thing with not having a format or having a format that's just, you know, out the wall. You know, you just do whatever you want. You just, hey, if you feel like doing 2 for, it doesn't have to be Tuesday. You could do 2 for Wednesday. You could do whatever, you know. Yeah. So
9 for Thursday.
I'm sorry. That I didn't hear.
I said 9 for Thursday. I was just joking around.
Oh, geez, yeah, Christ. Well, you know, if they were Misfit songs, you could actually do that. If you had 10 minutes, you know, they're all 43 seconds apiece, so you could jam 9 for Thursday and no problem. Yeah. Actually, I did that one night. I played like six like real quick punk rock songs in like 6 minutes, and I was trying to fit a whole bunch of stuff in because earlier in the program I had done like some Stairway to Heaven length type stuff. You know, I played a couple, like a real long Iron Maiden and a real long somebody else and a real long Deep Purple, and it's like, well, shit, man, I only played like 4 songs and it ate up like 40 minutes.
What about a band like Offspring?
Offspring, I like, and I do play them. I don't know, it's kind of cool with them because I don't know a lot of their names, so I just go in there and kind of hit random songs, and it works out because it's like, oh, well, cool, I like that. I didn't know the name of that was that, or like, well, I don't ever remember hearing that before in my life, but I like that. So I do a lot of that just kind of random obscurity stuff to where I'm playing bands, not necessarily songs. Yeah, I do that a lot. Sometimes I do it on purpose. You know, I'm confronted with, you know, Judas Priest breaking a law or an obscure Judas Priest. The obscure one's always going to win over the, you know, Living After Midnight, breaking the law, the ones that everybody knows. I'm gonna skip that one and play the weirdo one, but
exactly.
Yeah, Offspring, I'll hit like whatever I know, like 2 or 3 names, and then Well, see, sometimes that bites me in the ass because I've noticed apparently there must be like a couple songs that just the name, a couple bands I've noticed, and I haven't noticed enough to catch myself, but as it's playing, it's like, oh well, I guess that sneaked in again. Like I only have one or two albums by such an artist, and I'll go and I guess like that title will grab me because sometimes I'll just play. Just because either the title excites me, or be like, okay, well, hey, that sounds kind of cool, So
that's, you know what though, that's funny, but that's what sometimes works the best. Sometimes you'll just be playing and you'll accidentally play like the same band more than once throughout the show, and sometimes it works out the best. Sometimes it just works out that way,
Yep. And the other funny thing that happens to me is I have this growing file called Unknown Artists, where I rip CDs into the library, but the computer doesn't recognize what they are. So it'll just show up as like 8 songs under Unknown Artists, and then I'll burn another CD and it'll be like 10 songs, Unknown Artists. But then I've got about 20 of these things, and I have no clue what they are.
You start calling them your brown bag special.
Well, I've been calling them mystery metal, and it's actually a hit. The people like that segment. They're like, "Oh, cool! I love mystery metal," and people will call in or they'll write in and they'll tell me what it is. But the funny thing is, I don't know how to label them. Like, I got to figure a way, once I figure out what it is, to find it again and then label it. And then it can move from unknown into, oh, okay, now I know what this is. But
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, grab one of them CDs, blank CDs, and I'm going to send you literally through the mail sometime, like a couple of these from, like, people we interview, so you can throw them on the show so they can get some exposure that way, too.
That'd be cool, yeah. Just keep in mind your philosophy. If it's good, send it. If it's crap, don't. And I hate to use those terms, but it's if it's not good, don't send it because I don't want to play not good.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't do that to you, nah.
You'd be like on the air, this is fucking Too Loco, sending me this crap. What the fuck is this bullshit?
What is wrong with Too Loco?
Yeah, this is what's going on here. Yeah, and see, that'll happen sometimes with the mystery metal segment. Because I'll have put in some kind of various artist type compilation CD that somebody or another gave me, and it won't read. But there'll be like 20 bands on there, but the outside of the CD will mention, I don't know, 5 or 6 bands that I'll recognize. I'll be like, okay, well, this should be pretty good. But it'll just randomly play, whatever. And then some stuff that just gets in there and gets lost. I mean, legitimate stuff that I bought from the store for some reason won't read right. I got an Overkill album that's in there, and I don't know why. There's a Twisted Sister album in there that I find it quite by accident. I got one of David Allan Coe's Dirty albums, but way long ago when he used to write just nothing but X-rated type little funny ditties. I got one of his albums in there. So every now and again.
Oh wow, I haven't heard Twisted Sister in like forever.
I wonder what the total is. This is the question you should ask on the show. You should be like, what is the total amount of people that download these shows and put them on a CD to play in their car?
Yeah, that is. Because I do see the numbers. I don't get a whole hell of a lot of downloads. It's not, but I have no idea who's downloading or for what reason. Maybe that makes sense. They download them on the CD and listen to them in their car. That's kind of cool.
And if they didn't, they're going to start now.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. That's really kind of neat. I like that idea. Because I noticed I didn't see, that number doesn't grow dramatically. I don't see that number grow dramatically. But people do download the program now and again. And I often wondered, well, who would who's doing it and for what reason. Yeah.
Or they're downloading them on those little sticks, and the little sticks go right into the radio. Because that's what we have. It goes right into our radio.
That's true, too. Flash drive.
Flash drives, yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Because I've done that. I used to, I had a bunch of songs on a flash drive one time, and those were the songs I mostly listened to. So I'd bring them in the car, and I'd just hook them up to the radio and listen to them on the wherever we were going.
Believe it or not, there's some flash drives out there. You can put it in your computer, grab it, and then throw it into your your iPod.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I've done that with mine, too. I had
Or
my
MP3 player.
Yep, my flash driver had certain songs on it. I take and stick them into my son's MP3 player, and he had all the songs he wanted.
Huh. Well, that's cool.
So I guess in that case, all the numbers don't tell the story. But I will say this, in case you did not know, with Spreaker, every play you get is an actual play. You cannot play the song twice and get counted as two. It does not work that way. Same thing with downloads.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's cool. That's good to know.
So
yeah, I couldn't play the Benzotti show one day, let's say play half of it, and then the next day play the other half and have it count as two different times. That would still be one time.
So.
Oh, wow. Huh. Wow, so that's actually, if that's the case, then it's almost misleading, so the number's actually a lot bigger. Because not necessarily, mine are usually about 2 hours a clip. Under Walrus's runs, his show, I mean, he's temporarily on hiatus or I'm not quite sure what it is he's doing, but he was running from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. with his show, and I was running about 8 p.m. till about 10 p.m. with mine.
And we were doing 11 to 12.
And you guys were doing 11 to 12. So, yeah. I don't know.
But I figured that would make you a lot happier to know that, the numbers are misleading if you're wondering how many people are playing it, because if somebody, plays it over and over again, it doesn't count. So if they play it like 20 times, you could get an extra 20 plays, but in all honesty, it just shows that your work is very undervalued compared to what it actually is and what the numbers actually are.
Oh, wow. I did not know that at all. Well, that's freaky weird then. Because I was kind of impressed with the numbers as they were, but I didn't understand that it was under that. Wow. Huh.
It certainly is. I tried it one day just to see if the numbers would go up. I'm like, all right, play. No, it didn't work.
Right. Huh. I'll be damned. Yeah, I never really knew how that worked.
Now, in other services, though, not to cut you off, it is misleading. Like if you're like on Blog Talk and you hit play and play and play, it will count as one. Mm-hmm. Rather than it will count as one each time, rather than on Spreaker it counts as one, total.
Huh. Wow. Well, gee whiz, yeah, there ought to be people advertising like hell then, because there's a tremendous amount. Because I know the station, Strip Club Choppers Radio, is creeping up on 110,000 listens right now.
That's 110,000 dedicated listens. That's not, somebody hit the button 110,000 times. The reason I wanted to, mention that is because, especially if we put this up on our Strip Club Choppers, so people know that this is genuine. This is not bullshit. This is not fly by the night. These are genuine plays, and you all deserve a huge hand to get 110,000. Even if we helped a little bit, that's great. But you all are the real heroes and the real ones that have been busting your tail to get there.
Exactly. I agree with them on that. Strip Club Choppers, all of you as a whole have done a fantastic job.
Well, thank you. Well, yeah, I mean, we were real happy when y'all came on board. Yeah, I'm hoping Tim gets back to us shortly. It's kind of weird to be on Strip Club Choppers Radio without him. You know, it's kind of a weird feeling, but
if I know the Thunder Walrus at all, I know he's cooking up something big.
Well, that's what I figure. He's got an announcement coming up Wednesday morning at 11. So we'll hear what he's got to say then. I have no clue what it is now. He called me up yesterday, just as I was passing out watching TV. He's like, "Are you going to do a show?" I'm like, "I don't know." And then, like 5 minutes later, I was asleep. So apparently the answer was no yesterday. But he told me, Wednesday at 11, I've got an announcement, so put it out there. All right.
Well, I mean, we're going to continue to help out as much as we can, but y'all are the backbones of it, and we don't want to take that spotlight because that's not fair.
No,
and
never.
We have just like you do your metal show, we're planning on doing a indie music show, based on the interviews, as well as we have a whole interview section. So on ours, this will go on our main thing as well as our interview section.
Cool. Good deal.
Well, we figured that way people will be able to hear, what they want to hear. Like if people just want to hear interviews and that's it, just give them that rather than have to search through all our shows as well, to find the interviews.
Mm-hmm. Right. That makes sense.
And not only that, but we like to give, every time we do our show, we like to give props to Strip Club Choppers Radio and to all of you, because you guys deserve it for giving us a chance and allowing us to come on. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we can't thank the Thunder Walrus enough. I'm sorry, I have to say it that way.
He loves saying it that way.
Oh, that makes me giggle. You've got like your own little, almost like your intro to the way you say that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was born to be on the radio. I actually went to CSB Broadcasting School in Connecticut, and at that time they didn't give any kind of scholarships or whatever, and they were going to pay for half my tuition, but I still couldn't afford $3-4 grand. I just couldn't, even working 2 full-time jobs, trying to survive, to have a place to live and everything. I just couldn't afford it.
Oh, I hear that. I do hear that.
So, but one thing I want to throw out there in case you run it by Tim, we'd love if he came on if he did his own thing there, but if he wanted to come on ours and do like an hour segment of just like his comedy skits. I just think he undervaluates his comedy. His comedy's extremely funny, and he's on, the patriotic thing, which is awesome. His own motive, which is awesome. But as a comedian, he is absolutely funny.
He is hysterical. I definitely laughed when I listened to him. I was cracking up. He is funny as anything.
Yeah, if you, I know you're in Tennessee. I'm up this way, so I've actually gotten plenty of times to actually see him perform live, and he's actually funnier in person, where you can see him and interact with him, because that's about what it is. He's one of those interactive comics that'll yank you out of the audience and use you as an example, and it's pretty damn funny.
I know. I wish we could, because he sounds hysterical just from listening to his shows.
Yeah, like one skit where it's like, well, I went into an all black area, and I was up on stage, and I was like, "Are you as surprised as I am?"
Yeah, I can imagine that night. That had to be pretty funny.
He had to be thinking to himself, "How the fuck do I split this up here?"
Right.
Are these people gonna kill me? What if I say something the wrong way?
Yeah, but I can picture him. I've seen him Right, so I've seen him in strip clubs before. I've seen him at VFWs, various different venues, and he's funny no matter where you throw him. So,
But from the bottom of our heart, we appreciate what you do, and I have a newfound respect for you because I honestly thought, I've listened to you a little bit here and there. But I've honestly thought all you do is throw, like, normal commercial stuff, and you're like, all right, I'm ready to go. Now that I've heard, the whole backstory, it's like, whoa, wait a second. He's playing all these rarities. I want to be on there tomorrow listening.
Cool. Hopefully some of this will pull some new listeners in because they'll like that concept too. Just the obscure. See if you can understand the free flow. There is a connection to it, but every show's different, but every show's it's similar in the vein of it's unpredictable.
Exactly.
You're never going to be able, because I don't know it. Well, I don't know how long it's going to last. First of all, I don't have any idea. It's kind of weird. Usually on my drive to work, it'll hit me kind of like an epiphany what the first like 2 or 3 songs are going to be. And it's just weird, I'll just be putzing along and all of a sudden be like, well, boop, there it is. Today we're going to open with Rush, and it's just, okay, I have no idea where that came from. I don't know. And then tomorrow it might be, okay, well, we're going to hit Nuclear Assault right off the get-go. All right, well, there's no connection. You try and do the 6 degrees of separation with Nuclear Assault and Rush. You can't do it, I mean, it's like there's no real connection other than that they both play live music, So, but then after that, it just kind of goes weird, and it'll depend. Sometimes there's like underlying themes. Sometimes I'll get in there and I'll start playing around, like a word will catch me, and I'll just start fooling around with a word and see if anybody got. One day I did, and I swear to God, not a single. I have no idea when this episode was. I'll need somebody to do like a doctorate report on it one day, and they'll analyze it. One day I did the complete alphabet. Like I played ABC, all the way through. Not a single soul mentioned it. In order, mind you. In order. I didn't mention it. It was just like, I just introduced the bands, and it was something like, okay, so it's Accept, and then next up is Black Sabbath, and we're going to hear from COC and Def Leppard. And then we play them, and okay, now we're going to do Earth Ride and Fear of God. And I went from A through Z, and not a single damn soul ever mentioned, hey, do you know you played the entire alphabet in order? Well, yeah, I know I did, but I didn't know that you knew I did. And today, right now, it's the first time I've ever acknowledged that existed.
Well, I have a review here. It's that I have up on the website, toloco.reverbnation.com, which talks about the different shows, not just ours, because we feel if we're a part of something, it isn't us. It's everything as a whole. That's how it is. But one of your reviews said, Benzotti plays the music you don't hear on your favorite radio stations. Original radio? What a concept. Adrenaline starts to flow. You're thrashing all around, acting like a maniac. Benzotti Live.
I like that. That's a pretty accurate. Yeah. Whoever wrote that's a damn genius. That's a very accurate.
That is Mark Bondi, and he left that on April 3rd of this year.
April 3rd. Okay, well, see, that's not the mystery date. The mystery date is April 15th, Tax Day. I had more listens to Tax Day's show than any other show at all, and I, for the life of me, don't know what happened on Tax Day. Like, it's a tremendous amount, like a huge difference, like a jump of hundreds of percentile, and I don't know why. I didn't do anything different than any other day. I didn't have any guests. There were no call-ins, no spectacular whatever. But yeah,
it had to be the tunes, man. It had to be like the tunes in a row.
It was the tunes, and you know what? Maybe more people happen to be home that particular day and happen to catch your show and say, "Wow, this is a really good show," than normal, because normal people are usually working at night or they're doing whatever with their families.
It's weird, but whatever happened, I'd like them all to come back, because the numbers would grow at exponentially if all those people listened on even if they came back once a week, that would be enough to or at least somebody write a couple somebody's write and say, okay, this is why we listened to that day. It's like, okay. I mean, we've had some pretty cool interviews. We don't do a whole lot of interviews. I had some paranormal investigators. I had a couple big time names in musicians. We talked to the lead singer of Exodus. Talked to Metal Church, Raven, Generation Kill. This was all last year, but none of them garnered like tremendous airplay. And I even identified them back. If you go to the Spreaker, you can actually find them. Because most of my shows aren't labeled. It's just, it is what it is. I'll get an occasional. It's potluck dinner every night. So you can't even pinpoint it.
I will say though, it does help the label, and it does help to say somewhat about what you're talking to get the crowd interested. We were doing the same thing, and what happened was I had like 10 replies on Twitter saying, "Hello, are you going to label something so people know the difference between one and another?" Well,
yeah, because if somebody listens to your show, and let's say somebody likes a certain show, let's say they got one person comes about a couple people like, "Oh, I like that when they did the paranormal thing. Hey, how do I catch that?" They can go to there and catch it if you tag it so they know. Or, hey, I like this particular rock show he did, or this metal show, or whatever, what it was,
Right, and I got to learn to figure out how to do that better, because I just don't know how to do it, so that's why nothing's labeled, or very little is labeled.
I mean, even if you listen to it and just put, just the titles of the first 10 songs or 5 songs, be like, okay, well, tonight we played this, and this, and much more.
Right. Yeah. Now in the descriptions, like when I do the like Facebook tags, I'll try and write a little bit like that. But as far as like the Spreaker part, very few of them are labeled. Like I got on Tim's computer one time and labeled as many as I could, but it seemed like I could only do it from his, because I haven't been able to do it from mine. So I don't know what that's about.
All right, well, I'll talk to you off the air about that. I'm sure they don't want to hear that.
Yeah. Now we're going to move to tech. It's midnight. Let's move to Tech Talk with Benzotti.
There you go. Yeah. Before we let you go, though, we have to say that we're very, 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 I can't explain it. We are so grateful that, Tim, gave us the chance to be on Strip Club Choppers. We could never, repay him, back. All the money in the world in our eyes wouldn't, repay him back for, the opportunity, that we have or had or what however you want to call it, because it really helped us grow as a more complete unit and a more professional unit, even though we are goofballs.
Well, hey, you fit right in here, because there's very few bigger goofballs than Tim himself, and Engineer Mitzi will testify that I am 100% certifiable goofball here. So, yeah, you fit right in the Strip Club Chopper Radio family. Trust me. And I don't know, Marilyn and Maurice, if you ever got a chance to listen to their program. Yeah, they're both goofballs.
Yeah, well, I mean, our guy Tempo too, and his old lady Snow, they're funny as shit.
Oh
Tempo's like
yeah.
he wants to piss on everybody.
That's his famous saying to everybody, piss on you. Piss on you. We just crack up laughing.
You know, I can piss on you. I mean, we can't say it like he does.
No. He'll go, Tempo with a T says, piss on you.
Like
But
one night he was
does
saying, well, you can check on Google, that's with a G. And phone, I'm not going to tell you how to spell that.
Yeah, he's our biggest goofball, but we love having him on, him and his old lady, because they're sweethearts.
All right, but is there any last words you want to say, like what time you'll be on, or, what people have to look forward to?
Well, in general, the best place, if you want to catch up Benzotti live, actually live, the best way to do it is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just try it. It used to be, before they shook my schedule all to hell and mixed me all up, it was super easy. It was Monday through Saturday, 8 p.m. They totally altered my schedule, so now I work some evenings. Now it's just so. If you want to catch a live one, the best way is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. Just try it. You might catch a live, you might not. Tonight, no, you didn't. But hey, man, we ended up doing a live show late. I mean, it's a different network, different show, but nonetheless, hey, it's radio. We're hanging out. It's cool. We didn't, necessarily play any Benzotti jams, but we talked a lot, which was fantastic. But
well,
yeah.
What we're going to do is I'm actually going to upload it, if you want, up on yours. That way you get credit. I don't want to take credit for this. This is your show.
Well, I mean, if we could share it, that'd be fantastic. I don't know if is that a possibility? Does it have to be one or the other, or can it be multiple?
It has to be one or the other. Well, I mean, it could go on. I mean, it's going to go on ours, but on Strip Club Choppers, I want it to go on yours because this is your show. This is what you're telling people, and I'm sure you're going to, even on there, you're going to get more people interested because they're going to be like, "Wait a second, I thought he was playing the same old thing, but now I'm finding out he's doing his own thing, and this fucking rocks."
Not only that, but when we have people on, we like to give them full credit because you know what? This is their show. They are the star. Ultimately, that's how it ends up.
Cool. Well, I dig that. I dig that. I've never, on my show, I've never talked this much, but that's cool. That's a break from the norm. Normally, I play music and talk little, but I normally don't have anybody to talk to, so they don't want to hear me just talk by myself. Engineer Mitchie's like a silent partner. She does her magic kind of behind the scenes. Every now and again she'll chime in, but she's not as interactive. Yeah. So it's like Thunder Walrus, when every now and again I'll get to be on his show, and it's always exciting for both of us because it's like, oh, cool, somebody to talk to, we're both excited because it's like, okay. We can bounce off of each other. You say something funny, I can actually giggle and say something funny too.
Exactly. I mean, you're welcome to come on anytime you want. We love having you on. Same thing with Thunder Walrus. He can come on anytime he wants too. We'd love to have him too.
We're actually going to put a Craigslist ad up soon to see if we can find an audio person that can figure out how to link what we have here to our other system. And if we can do that and then tell you how to do it, y'all are welcome to use, this conference system anytime to have live call-ins. We don't give a shit.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, because that would be way cool. Because right now my call-in absolutely sucks. I mean, I could have done a couple, really decent interviews, but I can't even describe my call-in system. It's so Flintstone primitive. It's just like, wow, no wonder you don't like doing them. If you ever listen to any of them, I've only had 3 people call in, and it literally sounds like they're underwater down a tunnel. in complete darkness and threatening to
Yep.
drown. It's bad. It's just, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had that problem before too.
No,
And
we had the mouse.
with our call in though, you can have like up to 100 people on there, so that's the good thing.
So you could do a request line.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, no, geez. I have like, you know, one person call in and you can hear me and the poor other person. It sounds like a one-sided conversation. So it's a lot of me going, yeah, oh, cool. All right.
So it sounds like you're talking to a ghost then.
Well, when this is uploaded, you'll see that it's just as clear now then as it is right now. That's
awesome. That is awesome. Well, I look forward to hearing this. I'll tune in. Yeah, holy shit, we're now into tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're gonna let you go, and you have yourself a good night, Mr. Dave Benzotti, Metal Mayhem.
Well, thanks for having me. I have totally enjoyed this. This has been super fun. It's been cool. We'll definitely have to chat some more.
Definitely. Well, thank you for coming on. I mean, we've totally enjoyed having you on.
Well, cool. It was mutually beneficial then. So hopefully the listeners will agree and find some. I'm not the funniest person you ever had, but that's okay. You know, I'm not supposed to be too funny. But maybe they heard a band name or two they weren't familiar with, so that'll give them something to look up. So.
Well, maybe we're off one day or whatever and just talking like normal topics. You can come on and you bullshit about normal shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I do that every now and again. Yeah.
Or if you're off a night or something. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. If you're off a night or something and you hear something we're talking about, hey, that sounds interesting. I'm going to chime in and say something. Hey, call in anytime, and chime in. We don't care.
Yeah, we don't. Cool. Yeah, same thing with Tim. He's welcome anytime or anybody else on the show.
Oh,
that
of course.
We haven't met. Doesn't matter.
We'd love to have all of them on. They're all, they all sound like a great bunch of people.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But do you have any last words so we can let you get out of here so you can get some sleep for tomorrow or today?
He's a whiz. No, just thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Hope y'all can catch me on Benzotti Live on Strip Club Choppers Radio. Share the metal. Enjoy the metal. It's there for the taking. Let's jam out. And
your Facebook page is Dave Benzotti, correct?
Yeah, Facebook is Dave Benzotti, and we also have the Benzotti Live Facebook page as well. So there's two separate. The Benzotti Live's for the radio, and the Dave Benzotti is like my regular page. But yeah, we're actually the same people, but
All right. So in other words, bug him on Benzotti Live and not on his personal page. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, I mean, either way, you can get in touch with me either way. But yeah, the Benzotti Live is the best way to, if you want to interact with the radio station. That way you don't get the other one. The other one posts stuff about dogs and cats all the time.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. We have a bunny, and we love our bunny, so we always constantly have pictures up of him.
All right. Well, we appreciate you on, Dave, and you have yourself a wonderful evening, man.
All righty, will do. All right. Good night, folks.
Good night.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Warning, warning, warning. You are... Warning, warning, warning. You are not real radio.
What the fuck you mean I'm not real radio?
Warning, warning, warning. You are just an online wannabe.
No, you're the wannabe because you're just about dead.
Warning, warning, warning. Real radio is played in a car.
So what? We're worldwide. You can only be heard around the area.
Warning, warning, warning. I will self-destruct in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's what happens when you came in the Stone Age.
We are...
Too Loco Radio. Yes, on Strip Club Choppers Radio.
The fuck? The people need to sit back,